Good afternoon, YouTube. So a customer says, can you fix my boat? I'm like, yeah, we're really small engines. We work on anything. Well, we don't work on boats, but we do work on trailers. He says, got a problem with my left wheel. He come in and there's smoke coming off of here. I wonder why. So I guess we're gonna have to fix this man up, and we're gonna go ahead and do the other side while we're in there. Stay tuned, I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so go get your jack it up, put a jack stand under it for safety, and somebody's got the lug nuts on the wrong way. Can you believe that? I gotta show you this. They're on the wrong way. The cone is supposed to go toward the wheel. What in the world? Alright guys, that's all you need to do to take this wheel off. This cork in. Hope it doesn't get too noisy. It's starting to rain here. We're back in the old tractor shed. No insulation, dirt floor. I'm chunking these in the tractor bucket so the chickens don't end up eating them or something. I'm curious to know how bad this axle is. Yes, I could get a socket, but this is what I grab. Usually these come right off. Now behind here we're going to see a flat washer, if it's left. There's a piece of one. And that's how you take a tire off the easy way, without even removing the lug nuts. The races are still in here, ground up. Back race actually doesn't look bad. I can get you a little better look. But we're going to replace all of it. Looks like the seal. Yeah, the seal popped out. There's your inner race that rides on the axle. A little thin there, I believe. And this one's probably not going to want to come loose. Maybe I can clean this axle up, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that race off and get the seal off, and then we'll clean all this mess up. At least I'll have that inner one will be out, and we can see what's going on. Okay, I'll get back with you. Alright. So I've got some 60 grit and some brake cleaner. And we're going to, now I will bring my little air tool around here and really shine this thing up before it goes back together and make sure that it's right. We don't like a recheck. That's what we used to call them way back when. And all I have to do is sand this front where that race rides. Just trying to get a little bit of that rust and stuff out of the way. Let's see. Well, he's got some scoring there. There's some dirt. Let's see. Alright, it's coming. I'm not going to make y'all listen to all the banging. Alright, that's off. Next thing that's got to come off is this seal. Ooh, there's part of the cage for the bearing. And what's left of our seal. So we're going to get some new bearings and races. New seals. That axle's damaged back here. I think I could straighten it out there. The main thing is where that bearing rides, so, and that seal, and I think we're going to go ahead and install him some bearing buddies on here too, where you can just put your grease gun right on the end and keep him some grease in there. I'll get back with you when I go get some bearings and seals, my friends. Alright, let's get out this old Mac Attack, old big boy. Yeah, I've already oiled it up one time today. See if she'll start. Pull my choke. Let's buzz this hub off. Flip socket automotive. Like NASCAR, man. Alright, fellas. Alright, we just ended up putting a new hub assembly on this. Polish that axle up, and this side's good to go. Now I'm going to show you how to do the other side. Okay, let's see if we can get this side apart. Let me be sure we're, yeah, that might be alright. Let's get this side apart, and I'm going to show you guys how to put new bearings in and new races. Well, how I do it, sorry. No, I'm not worried about damaging that because it's going in the trash anyway. Look how loose that nut is. That's going to wear out kind of quick, huh? Beautiful day today. You think it's spring. Tell you what, I'm trying not to get greasy here because I didn't put gloves on. need to say the heck with this. Hook the boat up and let's go catch some crappie. Now, my wife would love that. She'd be like, okay, close the shop. Let's go. Great Lord, the dirt. Well, it ain't gonna matter. I'm gonna clean it up all anyway. Why didn't I put on gloves? I don't know. There's our washer. Outer bearing. Throw it in the dirt. Slide him off. Look at the water in there. Can you see that? That's water. All right, let's go to the bench and see if we can clean this up, take it all apart, and fix it. Well, my little helper showed up. That's Gabby. Another one of our girls. They're going to get some wings clipped. Get it, girls. Get it, girls. Get it, girls. Right, let's go fix a wheel bearing. Okay. This is some real precision stuff, and you need real precision tools. Hammer and a punch or two. Lots of fun. A couple blocks of wood. You can do it on a table, do it in a vise, whatever. First thing's going to happen is we're going to reach down and then pop that bearing. It should knock the sealing all out. There's your other bearing and your seal. Those are getting replaced. The next thing is going to be our race in here. We'll wipe a little of this grease out of the way onto a nice clean rag, right? We're going to see, can we get this? And it is a messy job. What I'm looking for is that there's a little groove down there just right on the edge of that race, and I'm going to kind of wedge back as I hit this. Now, if you're worried about hitting your hand, you can always put a pair of vice grips on here, and that way you'll hit the vice grip instead of hitting your hand. A little bit on each side. All right, as you can see, it's coming out. It appears I'm bottoming out here. Use a 4x4 to have more room, right? And there's our race. Now, we've got another one on the other side. I'm going to find that groove. That old hammer's almost new, huh? And there's our other race. All right. Now, let's see if I can get something clean to cut the camera off without getting grease all over me. And I'm gonna go to the vat, clean this up. Once I get all this cleaned up, I'll be right back with you. Okay, a couple things to take note of. We got all our parts cleaned up. I like this Lucas Red and Tacky grease. That's what's in my bearing packer. No, I'm not sponsored by these guys. That's just what I like, and one of our suppliers, that's where I get all my Lucas products. Races, you want to make sure that they are the exact same. Sometimes there'll be two different sizes in a hub. Generally, in the back of the hub, there'll be a large one, and the front will be a small. Trailers, typically, they'll be the same a lot of times, which in this case, these are. And what you can look for is on these bearings. It's going to be difficult. Let's see if I can get this to where you can see it. See the numbers? And it's going to be hard to see on. There you go. And you can make these, match these numbers, and then you know you have the right bearings, okay, or the right races. Now, bearings also have a number, and you could do the same thing with them. If I can get it to focus, guys. See? Of course, made in China. Now, I'm going to show you this also. There's a difference here. Look at this. See how much slop there is in that? I'm trying to hold it to where you can see all the slop in that bearing. A new one. See, there is, can't get my finger in there. There is like zero slop. There's just a little bit in there. All right. Now, when you get ready to put these races in, you're going to think this is a joke, but it's no joke. Take these races and go throw them in your freezer for about an hour and let them get icy cold. Then your hub, you can use even a heat gun, anything you got. Now, I'll probably use a heat gun or the propane torch, or you can use a regular torch, and you can heat these up. You don't have to, but you'll be surprised at the difference in putting them in. Even if you just put these races in the freezer, it will definitely help. And then I took an old socket, and this is actually a little snap-on 36 millimeter. It's actually a hub nut socket for an automobile. Yeah, it's an expensive socket to grind, but what I did is I grind it down so that it fits in there nicely into the hub, and it matches my races perfectly. And this I'll use to drive this race down into the hub. So let's go put these in the freezer and get them nice and cold, and I'll show you how to pop them in. All right, let's see. Let me zoom you in there a little bit. That is what you call frosty. Now you see how this is angled. Thick end goes in first, skinny end to the top. Put it up here. We'll give it a little start with a brass hammer. Okay. Every time I'm doing this, I'm looking to see how close I am to seated. And I should be on a more solid surface to do this. She's seated right there, I believe. Hear the difference in the sound. All right, that's a done deal. Let's do the other one. Let me go to the freezer. All right. We got another frosty race, bearing race. Let's put a little bit of grease in there just because. I don't know if it's going to help or not, but anyway, be in there. make sure you use brass because you don't want to damage this edge. Now this is not going to damage it because it's sitting solid. Very good. Now, where's my seal? Let's put our seal in. And I didn't use the socket just because I like to watch. When you do this, hit it at an angle a little bit so you don't damage this edge. You know what I just did? I shouldn't have done that. You gotta put the bearing in first. Duh. Alright, let's see if we can do this without damaging our seal. I'm just going to lightly tap with this punch, but you got to get in that groove without damaging the seal. And be very, very careful. And I'm just going to lightly tap this back out, hopefully. Beautiful. No damage. See, nobody's perfect. You can forget things. And with this camera going and whatever. Alright. I'm lucky enough I got one of these old things. A bearing packer. Isn't that nice? And a bearing packer. Stick your bearing in here. Telling you wrong. It's been a long time since I've used this. Put your bearing in. And work it around. That. What you look for. See if you can see. So the little dots of grease coming up in between. Okay. Now, this bearing I can stick in. Slips in the hub just like that. Now, since my hand's already greasy, if you don't have a bearing packer, I'm going to show you old school way. Put some grease in your hand. If you're scared of grease, this isn't the job for you. Grab your bearing like this and just work it. And you'll work it till you see the grease coming up between the bearings. It is not a race. So don't plan on being in any hurry doing this. And you just keep going. Turn the bearing a little bit, keep going. And you can see the grease is starting to come out in between right there. When it does, you know that it is done and ready to install. Let's see if I can get you a little better shot. Can you see the grease coming up in between? If I can get it to focus here. All right, taking too much time trying to get the focus. You're looking in between there and there. There's grease right there. Look at there. All right, see right there in front of my fingernail? And we want to do that, you see it all the way around. I'm not going to bore you with that, so let me get this one packed up. All right, we got our other bearing packed, and we got this bearing in there this time, and we're going to put the seal back in. And give it just a little bit of extra. There's a little ridge right there. I want to get just past that ridge. Beautiful. All right, now we just go put it on. And we're going to install a bearing buddy. This goes in place of your dust cover, and what it does, you fill it up with grease, and that spring keeps tension, pushing grease toward your bearing. All right, let's get this thing put together. We got to go. Got stuff to do. All right. You know we've already got grease in there. Put this on. Careful not to roll your seal. We don't need string. There you go. There's our washer. See how this bearing is shaped. And just stick it up on the axle. Slip it right in there. Washer. Grease everywhere. Nut. Tighten it down by hand. Spin your bearing. Make sure we don't introduce any dirt. 9 times out of 10, most people's gonna be doing this on the ground. And what I did is line that up till the hole for your garter pin will drop down there. Bend that up. And this is a long one, so I'm going to snip it. Put our bearing buddy on. Brass hammer. Sometimes these are a booger to get started. As you can see. The other one wasn't this difficult because I didn't have the camera on. Oh, shit. All right, I had a burr on it. Went and touched it, had a burr on the back edge, so. can hear the difference when that thing seats, okay? Now, what we're going to do is fill that puppy up with grease. What you're going to do is put grease in it till that piece, it'll slide all the way back. You'll see grease come out of a little hole right there when it's full. And this is going to take a minute. And there you have it. Once it comes off the little hole there, you're done. Put the wheel on, go fishing. Take care. Thanks for watching. Click that subscribe button. Leave us a comment. I'm sure I did something wrong. Somebody knows a better way. Thanks, folks. Have a great day. Oh, yeah. Dust cover. Suction holds this on. Thanks. Have a great day.